Hi guys, it's Nick. How are you doing? Okay, this video is going to be about the different formats of listing within eBay, specifically auction and buy it now, and then the other things you can do, namely best offer. I get an awful lot of questions asking me, do I list as buy it now? Why don't I list as auction? You know, what's the difference and what's the benefits? I did do a video way back when about this, but I appreciate I've got many thousands of subscribers who haven't watched the early videos and are unlikely to go back and watch them. So I just wanted to do a specific video to answer the question I keep getting. In answer to, do I list buy it now or auction? I list 99% of my stuff as buy it now. And buy it now, if you're completely new to eBay, there's basically two types of listing. There are auction, which is exactly what it sounds like, where you start your listing and then different bidders can bid on it and the price incrementally goes up until the time of the listing ends. And then you've got the other option, which is buy it now, where you select your price, you name your price, and if somebody wants the item, they buy it for that set price. Now, as I was saying, I list 99% of my stuff as buy it now. What I do with any given item, I will do my research on eBay, find out using my own judgment and searching completed and sold listings. I gauge what the sort of top end a certain item will sell for, and that's where I pitch mine. And I found over the years, I've been selling on eBay since the late 90s, I found over the years the buying public and the buying public that use eBay has changed, and it's become much more a convenience shopping platform rather than a place where collectors go and they try and get a bargain and it's all about bidding on items. It's become much more like Amazon in a way, a place where you go, you know what you want in your mind, you find it and you buy it, and people love the convenience of buy it now. So what I found and how and why my sort of business plan or selling plan has evolved over the years to become pretty much all buy it now is that people love that convenience. A lot of people shop on their phones, they want to find what they want and they want to buy it. And because you're offering that service and you're offering that convenience, you can ask the top end of what they tend to go for. Now, I tend to find as well, over a lot of items, let's say you sold 50 items and you started them all at 99p and you let them run and you let the bidders determine where the price ends, and you let those 50 items run and reach their mark depending on how many bids they get. If you listed that same 50 items on buy it now, pitching it at the top of where you think it's likely to sell, I think you'd find that you would do much better with the buy it now stuff. You may not sell it all the first time it's listed, you may have to relist some of that stuff, but you will get the price that you want, and you won't run the risk of selling at auction and you're not getting more than one bid, so you sell for your starting price. So what I want to do is just break down the differences and the advantages of the two. Starting with auction, are there any advantages to selling an item as an auction? One is that it can be cheaper. To list an item, it does depend on what sort of account you have, but I think it is free to list at a 99p starting bid your item. So that is quite tempting. It's free, you know, there's no financial investment, as opposed to buy it now, which has a fee up front to list it. Whether it sells or not, you will be charged. So that draws a lot of people into listing their items at a 99p start. So that is one advantage. Financially, it is cheaper to list at a 99p start auction. The other advantage that there is potentially selling at auction is if you get a couple of buyers, or 3 or 4 or 10 all interested in that item, they will create a bidding war and the price can go sky high. And that is why that odd 1% of things I do list as auction. If it's an item that I can't really distinguish how much it's worth, and it may potentially be worth an awful lot of money, sometimes I will take the chance and list that as an auction. but I could probably count on one hand the items I've listed this year on auction. I think it's only 2 or 3. One, for example, was a stamp album. I've had stamp albums and stamp collections in the past, and what I've tended to do is divide them up into bundles and then list them at auction, starting at about £10 per bundle, and then take many pictures so the stamp collectors can see what's in it, and if there's anything particular in there, then they can fight over it. And I've done fantastically well with some of those over the years. I listed a stamp album a month or 2 back, started it at £9.99. It cost me next to nothing, so I would have been happy with that as a starting price, and it only got 1 bid, so it didn't go any higher. But the potential was there for there to be some stuff in that album. I know nothing about stamps, and I don't have the time to look up each stamp and find out if there's any rare stuff in there. So if there was, and the collectors could see that in my pictures, they can still fight over it, and I could potentially have achieved a lot more. But the majority of the stuff I sell, I can research it and find out its value and list it for that price, and 9 times out of 10 get that price. So those are the only 2 advantages personally I can see about the auction one, is that it can be cheaper to list that way, and there is the potential for a bidding war to occur and it to go silly. Now, with Buy It Now, what are the advantages of Buy It Now? I think the big one is that it's convenient for the buyer. You set your price and you can buy it there and then. So from the buyer's point of view, they get the convenience. They get the convenience of looking at your item, deciding they want it, and they can own it in that second. That is the big draw to Buy It Now, and that is why a lot of people tend to only shop Buy It Now on eBay. I know I do. I rarely get into a bidding war unless I'm trying to grab a bargain and you know, snipe an item. But when I'm buying something for convenience sake, I will tend to just find a decent Buy It Now one and buy it there and then. So that is the big advantage of Buy It Now. Right, I've lost my thread. Oh yeah, the other thing is you can list, and I used to do a lot of this, you can list an item as an auction, let's say starting at 99p if you want to go there, and you can also have a Buy It Now on it as well, which can be a great option. So if somebody finds the item, they're not really into the whole auction thing and they don't want to wait 10 days or a week or however long you've listed it for, you can add a Buy It Now option. So let's say you list something 99p start, but the buyer has the option to buy it for £9.99 if they want it there and then. So what happens is, if somebody buys it now, the item and the auction is finished and the item is sold to that buyer. If somebody, however, bids, once the bidding starts, the Buy It Now option disappears. So once the bidding has started, let's say somebody puts a 99p bid on, the Buy It Now option vanishes, and if nobody else outbids him, they will get it for 99p. Now that's the big problem with listing items at 99p start, or just a low starting bid in general, because yes, the advantage of auction is people may bid like mad on it and the price will go through the roof, but just as likely is the scenario that one person will bid and it won't move from your starting bid. So if you are going to sell your stuff at auction and you're thinking, I'll take the free listings at 99p, understand that you are taking the risk of selling that item at 99p. And if that's something that you really aren't prepared to sell at 99p, I wouldn't take the chance. Do an experiment yourself. Pick an item, search it, search completed and search sold, and look at the difference. Is that a word? I'm not sure. The difference in price between those that sold on auction and those that sold on Buy It Now. And you'll find out for yourself that generally those that are selling it Buy It Now and setting their price are achieving more overall. There will be a few that will, on bids for some random reason, go beyond, but most will end lower. That's my experience anyway. Now, I just wanted to touch on another option which has been around for a couple of years, and I do use it a fair bit, and that is the best offer. You may have seen on eBay, you go into an item and it has the option as a buyer for you to make an offer on an item, And it is as simple as it sounds. You can go into that and send, let's say somebody's got something up for $19.99. You could go in and you could make a cheeky offer of $9.99. And who knows, they may accept it. Likelihood is they won't, but what the buyer, no, not the buyer, what the seller has the option of doing then is counter offering. So they may come back to you and say £18, and then you can counter offer again, and you might come up a bit, and you can go backwards and forwards and sometimes meet in the middle and get a sale. I find this is good on items that are perhaps sticky or sat around for a while, or an item that I don't really know its true value. So what I do sometimes, rather than taking the auction route and letting people bid and it finds its value by going up, sometimes with an item I'm unsure about, I will list at a really high starting price because I've got nothing to lose. If it doesn't sell, I still have the item. If it does, I've achieved a great price. But what I will do on those sort of unknown quantity type listings is list it high with best offer. And then you can gauge, if you get a lot of offers coming in, you know you've got an interesting product that is appealing to a lot of people. And you can judge from there whether you want to take any of these offers or take best offer off altogether. You know, it gives you information. And also I found with items that have sat around for ages, just adding that can sometimes bring you a sale. Somebody will make you a lowball offer, you can counter offer something, and you can just get shot of stuff by allowing people to engage with you and make offers on your stuff. So yeah, I use that not on everything, but on some items, and I found it really handy. So yeah, that's my take on auction and buy it now and using the best offer. Me personally, I think buy it now is the way to go. You will have to pay a little bit more to list your item as a listing fee, but it will pay dividends because on the whole you will get more for your stuff than selling it by auction. So that's my opinion. I hope that was useful and it answers a load of questions that I keep getting on my channel about the difference and what I tend to do and why. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Please give it a thumbs up. I'll speak to you soon.